I believe we are live. Let me see. Sound good? Sound check? Oh, okay. Let me know if you can hear me. So just checking a little bit. Give me a thumbs up to see if I need to increase the decibels a little bit. Um, anyway, so we have a couple of people. Happy Bridge checking in from Ghana. And what a lady. Thanks for tuning in. It looks like some of you are hiding behind the scenes. So just check in. Let me know where you are listening from. By the way, how's the sound? Is it good? So I'll continue talking. Sound is good. Thank you, Salif. Anyway, so I hope everybody's good. I've been hiding a little bit. I've been busy with some of the things a couple of us are doing regarding to land acquisition, stuff like that. So, but it is in the initial stages. So we're gonna just keep it for now, and then as we move forward into the process, then we can talk about it as the time needs. So, Kwame, thanks you, brother, for checking in. But today I would like to open it up for a little bit, questions and answers. There's a lot of things going on, and then I'll talk about some few things that I think is coming up that I think is important that I think you guys should be aware of. So I'll probably start with that. So one of the things that we are coming in contact with right now is having to go back and fix buildings that were not done correctly, right? So mostly structural issues, right? We have been dealing with a lot of those for story buildings, okay? And Darren, bro, good to see you. It's been a while. And so one of the reasons I wanted to do this discussion with you is because one of my good friends that I've known for many years called me a couple of days ago to go inspect on a story building that the grandmother was handling, and so we went there Monday, brought an engineer over there, looked at it, and it's just crazy, there's a high degree you have to tear everything down, right? Just think about it, right? You build a whole story building from the ground up to the roofing level, and there's a possibility everything must come down because of major structural issues, okay? So we're gonna have a couple of other engineers come in with some device to test the foundation strength and all that stuff, and then we can make that final decision. But as of now, it looks like that's the direction we are gonna go. And other people have gone to see the building, and they said, like, they don't even want to enter the building. So what is happening is, we have to be really careful who's building the story buildings, right? You can make some mistakes with one level house, right? You could and get away with it. But for story buildings, it's very important, very important that you have engineers on site, because some of these builders don't really understand what is in the blueprint, right? The basically the pillar dimensions, right? The thickness of the iron rods and those things. Hidden beams is becoming a big challenge for a lot of people to execute now, okay, and stuff like that. So we have to be really careful on stuff like that, because we are risking lives here, right? And some of these places, when we go, we tell them, look, it's not, we can't patch this up. This is not something you patch up, right? We've gone to places that the floor is sinking, okay? And what sometimes these builders do, they'll go back and start, try to hide the cracks and stuff like that. So sometimes we don't even know what is behind those cracks, right? And so we have to dig, and if it's because there's things that are invisible, right? You are seeing the visibility of some of these problems, but what else is inside these walls, right? And stuff like that. So please be careful. The story building is no joke. There's no jokes to give it to some amateur and stuff like that. Let them understand this. Let them know exactly what they are doing. Okay. One of the things I also want you to know too is, like, when you do your blueprint from the US, London, whatever, try to give them like a Ghanaian blueprint, right? Because then they could understand that we use cement and rebars and iron rods and stuff like that. So then they can factor in, especially when you're doing like the open concept, and then they have to do hidden beams. Like when you see my house, I have three hidden beams, going out, two going across parallel, and then one across with the two pillars in there to support it. And the dimension of the pillars matter because all this thing has to be weight bearing, right? And you don't want a lot of stress on the lower level, right? Not every builder understands this, okay? So be careful, okay? Be careful because to put $150,000 into a building and to find out that this thing will have to come down, it's not everybody can recover from that. So let's be smart about here, right? Treat your building process as a business, right? If you are starting a business, if you just came up with a business, are you gonna go hand it to some family relatives that who has no idea about what this is about? Okay, so you have to look at it from that. Okay, it has to be a mental decision, not just emotional decision, because this masonry guys, this contractors, some of them are hiding stuff inside the wall, and we are finding these things out. Some can be remedied, some the whole building got to come down. So this is something that you have to know. Story buildings, engineers gotta be on site. Quality one too, good one, the one that who's used to assessing these things, because now people are building with more European or outside blueprint and layout, and so now there's a lot of open concept, right? Some 30 feet of open space and stuff like that. That could be a little bit challenging. So make sure your engineer understands that, right? And stuff like that. So I feel like it's really important. And this is a friend of mine that I've known for a long time. I don't know why uh, they didn't tell me like they're even building and stuff like that. So they usually calls me my friends, when they call me when there's some trouble. And if you do that, I'm gonna charge you double for that price. Okay. So, but I think just be smart about it, right? We know what we're doing. If we can't handle it, we tell you straight away. And stuff like that. But we care about your safety, and we are not going to touch something that is severely structurally compromised, because we do not want to co-sign your death or somebody's death, right? That is our principle, because your life is more important to us. The money is a secondary thing, but we want to make sure that our house is sound, and the challenges we're finding out is structure, right? Structure. People are using low grade cement. People are stretching the cement. People are using the wrong iron rods. All this thing is coming up. People are not checking the foundation to make sure another story can actually, the foundation can hold. Foundations are shifting. Whole living room is being dropped like a foot down. This thing is coming up. Okay. So let's be careful. Not every builder can handle story building. Okay. So go with the experience. Okay, so anyway, if you have questions, just throw in there, because I don't want to keep this thing as a run. But anyway, I hope you guys are doing very well. I'm still, like I said, I want to do the second house, so I bought pay for my blueprint yesterday, with some modifications and stuff like that. It's gonna take 4.5 weeks to get everything back, so I'm ready. And the goal is the next time I'm able to fly from here, I just want to go and start foundation and stuff like that. Um, moving on, just double check, do your due diligence. Is not everybody's a builder. Not everybody can execute these things. Be honest with yourself. If I put a team together, I'm gonna get the best team members that know more in each of their respective areas, right? Because if I know what you know, then I'm not going to hire you, right? So everybody that is part of the team are good at what they do, and they are expert in that area. Okay, they know more in that area than I do. Okay, my goal is to make sure everything is running and people on the same page and that kind of stuff. So they are very, very hardworking, dedicated, and they understand that we're not gonna do some crazy work and stuff like that. Will you sell your current house after completing the second one? That's option. But if you have the money, let's talk. Everything has a price. Well, some things have a price, some things are priceless. But but the trick is that I have to see how much time I'm going to spend in a secondary house and that kind of stuff, and then because that first house has the space, right? It is a house that was built for future, so there's enough bedroom, there's enough outdoor space, and it's adequate. There's power, there's water, and everything. But it's a big house, super super big house. Probably I would never build another bigger house than that, because it's like when it's built with a purpose. The second one is going to be maybe 3,000 square feet. That's what the blueprints looks like. It's going to be more cozy, more modern style and stuff like that. But then the first house becomes either, hey, the money is good, why not? Or I'm also thinking about splitting the land because I have 110 by 120 of land next to it to do some business and kind of that stuff. But if you're serious about buying here, let's sit down and talk. But like I said, is you don't find that type of house with that type of space in Ghana, because most people will maybe build like bigger homes, but it's gonna take the whole land. But to have 6,500 square foot, with another 120 by 110 plot on the side, it's like you don't find that is not common in Ghana, you know, stuff like that. So, but we'll see, we'll see how that goes. But I'm excited. The second one is, I want to wrap it quickly. But it all depends on how much money and all that stuff. But be on the ground myself. I want to start a foundation. Like I always tell people, be on the ground. So, I follow everything I preach to you guys and I talk to you guys about. So, if I build 20 homes, at all of them, I'm going to be on the ground because it helps. It helps. It helps. So the second house, and I'm going to go solar, because of a couple of reasons. Um, the generator, is the cheaper route, but it's not environmental friendly, and also it's going to be a little bit loud because this time I'm only building on one plot, 100 by 70. So I don't want to generate over there. So I already spoke to the solar guy, um, and he's gonna help me make provisions. So when I install the panels, I can run the wires from the ceiling all the way to where the batteries and the equipment and everything will be, which will be in the garage because you want an airy place. So I'm going solar route. As maybe 2 years, 3 years into the project, maybe I'll start talking to him about price and what kind of system is going to work. But this house is going to be hidden roof, so it's going to be nice because the solar is going to be within the hidden roof. You couldn't see it from outside. So I am, this time, great decisions better because there's some experience, and so it's not a duplication. It's going to be a totally different thing. Um, yeah. So prom, yeah, prom that way in your area. Yes, yes. And I can tell you, like right now, land is getting where you can is going crazy. Prom, even in some areas, right? I mean, it's like they are charging like East Legon prices. So I would say the most important thing, like do your homework. Anything between from like within 45 minutes, um, from airport to 45 minutes away. Any price up to 12, 13,000, maybe even 14. I think 14,000 US dollars, I think is a good deal. Because it's like it's getting crazy, right? But that doesn't mean that you just throw the money out there. You still gotta do your homework and stuff like that. And that is the same thing I'm doing for the second house too. As a company we're looking into that, we made some proposal, and we're going back and forth, and it's a couple of us that there's four of us doing this thing, but we haven't got to the stage that to put information out and stuff like that. So the goal is to eventually make some deal with them that you guys come in, there's guarantee discount and that kind of stuff. But we're still working something out. So where in Ghana can you buy plots of land? So you see, it depends, right? It depends what you want. Like some of you, you already live in a city in the outside Ghana already, and you want something quiet. So I would say, you know, have even though in your area is good, Dodo was some areas, you gotta be careful. There's some land issues over there. Yarifa is another good place. Uh, Kaswada side is also good. So these are places that you can go, and I think at their prices, why they may be a little bit high, but they're reasonable compared to some place paying 25, $30,000 and that kind of stuff. So it's like just think about the land thing, right? Because this is a long term. Once you buy this thing, you can't just offload it like that. So make sure it's a desirable place that you really want to, or the distance. If that's a big deal to you, I already did a video about how to assess those things. So just take your time. Don't rush it, because it's like you don't want to be a situation that you buy something, then you regret and you're forced to live there, stuff like that. So take your time. So armed robbers. Um, I mean, so it's everywhere. Well, this thing can happen anywhere. Yeah, I mean, Kaswa, it's a hot spot. Sometimes, I think they've been pushed out. They keep moving to outside Kaswa a little bit and stuff like that. But these things happens, and the things I want people to think about is like, usually there's armed robberies are being done by neighbors. There are guys in the neighborhood that collaborate. Either they themselves are doing it or they're collaborating, right? So that is the thing that you guys gotta be aware of. So for me, one of the things I did was, when I moved in my area, I got all my information. I patronize every store around my neighborhood, build that relationship. And then you have people watch things for you, right? And also don't look like a male. Or carry yourself in a certain way. Be respectful. I treat everybody around the neighborhood with respect. But if I have to put you down, I'll put you down. It's just that's the way it is. So it's like the neighbors will let you know what is going on, and stuff like that. So, but the thing is, there's a way. There's things that we can talk about. I don't want to put it publicly because sometimes you don't know who's watching it. There's a way you can deal with these things, about layers of security and that kind of stuff. But for me, when I go to Ghana, in spite of whatever the things is, I'm always prepared, and stuff like that, because I keep my options open, keep my eyes open. I put myself in the situation to deal with anything that comes my way. So it's not something that should prevent you from living over there. It's just one of those things you gotta keep an eye to. But if you have good intel in the neighborhood, you've developed some relationship, while you also look like a formidable person, then it's less likely, right? One of the things that's very, very effective is those security cameras are no joke. They're very, very effective. Nobody want to get caught on that. So that's another layer, right? Because prior to that, when the security cameras came, the guys that used to hang around that area, they've moved down the street, right? I've captured a couple of petty thefts and stuff like that, which I share with the neighborhood to figure out who's doing this kind of stuff. And so, but you just have we can deal with how to mitigate that kind of stuff, during consultation, not like publicly, right? Let me see if I've gone to. Okay, let me see. So traffic, yeah. So traffic, right? So traffic, so the land, traffic becomes important. Like if you have to come in every day, if you are coming to town like once a week, then it's not really the most important thing. But so, and for me, I can't stand traffic. So when I usually move, I move like, in the evening or early in the morning and stuff like that. But it's just one of those things, is, you don't really have a lot of options about that. But it doesn't really stop my quality of life or anything like that, right? Some days are worse than others. Yep. So, right. So put in the questions as you come in. Um, okay. So it's about due diligence, right? I know there's a lot of things going on there. One of the things I want to tell you is that stay focused, right? Stay focused. Um, and just plan. Just plan. There's things you can control. There's things you can control. Work on the things you can control. And I'm telling you, it's like when you're hungry and you focus, all the other things that is happening in the world is a secondary thing, right? And stuff like that. Because after we go through this crisis, this pandemic issue, there will be the two things going to happen. People will say, "Look, glad we got over, back to the routine." And some people say, "You know what? Maybe this is the time that all the stuff I've put on hold. This is the time I need to get my exit plan, then decide what I want to do, right?" And stuff like that. But that also means that you are reckless. Does it make sense? So this is where you are vetting who you want to work with. You're having discussions and all that stuff. So when the time comes and you're ready to travel to Ghana or any of these African countries, you already have you've built something to just expedite things for you, right? And stuff like that. So the second home, I'm working on it. I think I got where I wanted to be, but it's not it's too soon, right? It's too soon. And stuff like that, because we're still working with a with a company, stuff like that, to acquire the land and stuff like that. So we're not there yet. We're doing a search. The search will come back in a couple of weeks, then we're gonna proceed. So once I get the documentation, um then I'll declare the location, and stuff like that. It's about 30 minutes from the airport. Eastern region is good too. Eastern region is very good. Um, and so it depends. Like Florida. So because I was talking to another guy, so he has a couple of lands acres in Florida. But he still wants to build like someplace in Accra, because granted he doesn't want the city, but he also doesn't want to like go that far, right? So at the end of the day, you gotta feel yourself, right? You gotta feel yourself where you find yourself living. I wouldn't. So like I would say, don't let the cost, especially for the cost for the land, drive you way out, right? Because there's always a trade, right? Because let's say we're paying three, four, $5,000, it's a lot of money. But on the big scheme of things, it's not a lot, because once you build your house and you are living in a desirable place, it wouldn't matter you have spent $3,000, $4,000 extra, right? So don't let those numbers drive you out. You have to feel it in yourself that I can see myself living here, right? And I would say probably the further you go, it makes sense to come a little bit money, get extra land, maybe do a little bit farming and stuff like that. Because for me, after this house, that's other things. I think after I build this house, I think I'm done. I'm building another house, as a residence for a long time, and then I'm gonna start getting land and outside, outside Accra and stuff like that for other things down the road. Um, so safety, like some place are safe, safer than others. Tree like so Accra is kind of like New York City, right? As you go to outside New York City, is different, right? So go to Binghamton, Rochester, you know, it's different, right? So it's kind of like that. Accra is where the activity is and stuff like that. But Ghana is relatively safe, right? But anything can happen, but it's not to the extent that it should deter you. It's just about preparation, right? Preparation, and then there's a lot. You are not what I'm trying to say is that you are not helpless, right? I don't feel helpless when I go to Ghana. Okay, regardless of what neighborhood I find myself. So I don't want to address that, with the Bomani stuff, So I don't want to address it, but it is your job to, like I said, do your homework. Do your homework on me, do your homework on anybody, and stuff like that. And but publicly, certain things. Privately, we can talk about things, but publicly, I'm not gonna put that kind of stuff unless if it's necessary, right? So things that have happened in the past that was necessary, and I addressed that, and that was taken care of, and so so I'm not gonna re-bring that up. But what I'll say is do your homework. Put everybody to scrutiny, right? It's a lot of money you're about to spend, and nobody's above scrutiny, right? And but usually when you start vetting, things will come up, and then you can make your decision. Kwame, you looking at North? Yes, I have a trip. I have not gone to the North. I'm due to visit Tamale. The next time I go to Ghana, I think I'll go to Tamale. I've never been there to the North, so I think I need to go there. I've heard it's very nice, so that'll be on my list. Yeah, so like I said, vet people. Hey, nobody's above scrutiny. Vet them, ask them questions, push the questions when you talk to people. Get your feel, do your homework. You know, things will come up, and then you make your decision, and stuff like that. So don't feel like you do anybody's favor. It's your hard-earned money, and if you're gonna spend it, you want to make sure it's right, right? And so, and I've been quiet for some time because, like, I've been putting like 5 6 hours into this thing, because ideally, my goal, one of the things I'm trying to accomplish right now, is to secure lands, right? But I want to go in that I can have leverage on the people, and then let them know that, what. So I'm writing the proposals, the contract, how it's gonna go down, and stuff like that, and so that when you guys ever buy from us, things are guaranteed, that kind of stuff, and that's taking some time. I've been working on this thing for a year now, and stuff like that. So because I feel like if we can secure land, we can kind of like, now you guys would not be dealing with that, fraudulent kind of activity like that. But we some companies are legit, their process is sloppy, right? The process looks like something fictitious. It's just like they don't really they haven't really thought about how to run the thing. So we are helping some of them out, in terms of releasing certain information. What are you paying for? What is the time frame? Things kind of like stuff. Having stuff on your website that people can read ahead of time. What are the guarantees? So we are helping some of them with that kind of stuff. And so we are working. Four of us are working on that. Since the last couple of weeks, we've been putting. One day we put like 8 hours. And so we are working. So hopefully we can pull something off. It's going to serious about Marine Drive project. Can you please explain that? Um, give me some more input on that. Okay, so we are working, right, working behind the scenes, and stuff like that. So hopefully we're not gonna put it out there to his right, and because he has to meet our expectations. I don't want you guys coming in getting headache. Look, we work too hard. We all tired. Nobody wants to deal with that BS sometimes, so I'm trying to make sure that they understand, how we think about things, how we process things here, and stuff like that. So that we are on the same page, and and stuff like that. So we weeding out, stuff like that. Um, Really over the course, I don't think Ghana really has any plans about redeveloping the coastlines. Big when I was in Ghana way back at 20, 23, 24 years old, they were talking about the Keta project, building a seawall and all that stuff. That never happened. So I would say, like, I would say right now, sea, sea view property, skip. I'll say skip. Um, I almost bought 1 acre last year, right, beautiful, right by the ocean. But it's like, you know, it's it's just going to be doing a lot of problems, right? Because I don't think the country itself. So it's not necessarily this government. I don't think the country itself has any projects along the way of developing anything around the ocean. If it happens, it might be like a private developer. And building around the ocean front too is very, very, has its challenges with humidity and that kind of stuff, and the seawater and stuff like that. So I would say skip that for now. You can do lake. Lake is fine. You can do river. Some don't do pond. And stuff like that. Always elevate. This is the new thing we are doing. We are elevating the homes of the ground, because flooding can happen anytime. Because sometimes, like 5 miles down the road, something is clogged somewhere, and then all the thing you know, everything is coming your direction. So we're gonna elevate everything 4 or 5 feet off the ground, put some stairs in front of it, keep the design clean, and stuff like that. Because it's just that's the way we have to do to our irrigation system, become something good and stuff like that. So I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss any questions. But these are some good questions. So we are working. We're doing some collaborations. So one. So I want you to understand this thing. Like, one of my goals, down the road is someday, right? Someday, a group of us with same thought process, right? Either we can secure a place we lived in there, but we develop businesses, right? Develop businesses because the integrity is right, because we can count on everybody. And someday, this is a goal that I would like to have. Then someday we run these businesses that we control 20% of the economy in Ghana, 30% of the economy in Ghana, 40% of the economy, 50%. You see, we get to a point that we are formidable force, that we can get into places and run the country well, right? And we run it well. And we don't go in for money, because we have secured ourselves, and we have secured our offsprings, right? So we can go in on principle and bring the change that we need, right? Because I've seen good people go to Ghana with good ideas and get compromised, right? Because sometimes they get there and they haven't taken care of certain things. So all of a sudden, somebody in politics offer them 3 or 4 bedrooms, right? And then they get excited, or they offer them like a vehicle. They get excited, and this person that was so excited went in there, and within 6 months doing the same thing that he vowed never to do. But I use myself as a case. If I go to Ghana right now, scenario, I'm meeting with the politicians, and he's gonna offer me a house. Chances are he's not gonna offer me a house better than the one I got, right? So he can't motivate me by that. You see? So the goal is to take care of our businesses, and we collaborate, and then we control the economy. And when you control the economy, you can tilt the nation. You can tilt the nation, because we will have people in places, okay, that will do the right thing. And so that is one of my goals. That is why I keep pushing it, and I say, you know what? Until we control the economy, we can't push these people out, right? If, for example, one of us control the energy sector, right? One of us control food. One of us control the utilities or whatever. One of us controls the road and highways. One of us controls the agriculture, right? One of us control the import and export. You see that? We can really, that is power, right? That is how we do these things, right? But we got to think right, and we got to get people that know this is a long term. Even if we are not able to execute this thing in our lifetime, and we build a foundation, right? I'm raising my kids with the right attitude. You raising your kids with the right attitude. Someday they married, right? They know what it's about. They will be aligning their energy to progress even faster than we did. Okay. So for me, that is the only way. That is the only way to rescue the continent, right? We got to do it. We got to do it, and we got to eventually put our own people there that are patriots, that have highest integrity, that are selfless, and so that will come when we've taken care of our stuff and we link up, and we can do it. I think as we do that, we can transform the nation. We can transform it, right? We can decide who comes in. We're not gonna make eight deals that the country. Imagine some of us control the judiciary, right? We rewrite the constitution saying that any deal, project with any foreign entity, the country must have 80 to 90%. And any president that does that overrides that is treason, right? But if some of us are in the judiciary, we can put those things in. We can put those things, right? Other than that, we can be on the outside, right? And talk. And then meanwhile, the people that are supposed to do the right thing are being compromised, right? So that is one of my vision that I'm talking to like-minded people. I say, look, even if we don't see it, and I think this thing 3 generations, we get a country back. We do this thing 3 generations, we get a continent back, right? So maybe let's start. Maybe let's sacrifice. Let's create a foundation, and this group will come and they'll build, right? And that's the power. We must gain power in order to transform this. We must have the power, and it's the economics. We gotta go the economics way, okay? Because we can't go the other way because some of us don't want to die, right? So we gotta go the economic way of having like-minded people that knows what we are trying to accomplish for our people, right? So that is some of the things, and that means you have to be focused, right? You have to be focused. That means you don't have time to entertain certain things. So I'm all about, yes, we speak on when we are being treated unfairly and that kind of stuff, but I think a plan, man, it's like, that's why I don't do a lot of videos about it, so because you got to plan this thing, right? Because your enemies are thinking you, so you got a strategy. You got to decide how you're gonna do, and we got to put 50-year plan, 100-year plan, 200-year plan, we're trying to accomplish. And I think we do that. You know, other than that, we'll lose the continent in our lifetime. That is how rapid it is, right? That's how rapid. When I go to Ghana, I shake places. Man, I give it to them. Okay, everywhere I go, I raise havoc. I let them know my peace of mind, and they wonder who's this guy, because what are they gonna do to me? Not much. Um. Anyway, so that's a little rant. And so we will need people, right? We need people. We need people that think like us to execute this thing. And we support each other, right? There's a lot of things that we do like behind the scene that we don't even put it out there, right? All the sisters, all the guys that they on YouTube, showing their bit on us stuff. We are connected somehow. When we meet, we have a good time. Um, and stuff like that. And it's like, we share ideas, we talk behind the scenes and stuff like that. We might not do a lot of collaboration publicly, which I'm thinking like we should just do, so our people know that, hey, there's a connection and stuff like that. But we do put a lot of energy on it. But we need a lot of us to think like that. That is the only way. You know, that is the only way that we can force people. When you have power over them, you can, because that's what your enemy is using. They have power over the politicians, right? So we have to go in, and this is our land, claim it, and then change the future, and aspirations of our people, right? Other than that, I'm hungry. Hungry. So what is a normal elevation or foundation? So usually they go about 4 feet deep, right? Deep for like a two-story building. But also what you also have to factor into is is like the pillar size, right? You know that so the weight bearing is gonna varies, you know, how they construct the pillar size and stuff like that. Um, but usually like on the flat line, you know, they go about 4 feet. They go about 4 feet and stuff like that. Okay, let me see. I don't want to miss any question. The best way to secure an acre of land, especially when you're not ready to start building. So to secure land, you know, a couple of things, right? You can fence it. But ideally, if you're not there, we will say, have somebody occupy the land. You know, let them farm on it, right? And then you have to have somebody in the neighborhood that you probably have to put on a payroll, you know, $50 here and there, and they'll be eyes and ears, right? They'll tell you when somebody try to encroach on the land and stuff like that. So that is what the worst thing you want to do. Just go buy land, don't talk to anybody in the neighborhood, and then you leave, right? So and then there's other things you can do. But if you can fence it and have either fence it and still have somebody watch it, or have somebody occupy the land, or a neighbor use it as farming, right? That is but the goal is eventually within a year, maybe a year and a half, to start something, you know, just some even foundation, and then somebody, so when somebody comes, they know like, hey, you know, looks like somebody's doing some activity here, you know, and stuff like that. So so good question. Biodigester or traditional septic? You know, it's funny because so I have the biodigester now, is working, but I'm also contemplating for the next build. Um, I might go septic tankish, but I want to get a land and then figure it out, because where I'm trying to build the second one is like in a community, so I want to see what are the restrictions I can get and then stuff like that. But I mean, so if you do a septic tank, right? So you have to find a way to come remove it when it's full, right? And stuff like that. Because sometimes when you let the water dissipate into the ground, depending on the ground, that water might sit somewhere, right? You might not just dissipate well. And so you have to test the soil and that kind of stuff. But I will revisit that biodigester, biogas, and then a septic tank, because I think I might do, because the biogas is having some issues. That's what I've been told. Right? It's not effective. Um, the thing with the biodigester, the issue is that you have to get a water out. You have to drain it somehow, right? And some people put it on the ground, or some people do a gutter somewhere and then they run it over there, which can lead to some smell a little bit, right? And so, hey, maybe the old septic tank might work, but I will have to do some more research on that and stuff like that, and see which one. But I will do a video and readdress those three. Hopefully, in the next few years, there'll be another technology that'll be nice. Okay, so I don't want to keep this thing too long. I'm gonna, if you don't have any questions for now, I'm going to just wrap it up. Wow, time just fly. Thank you for tuning in. Let me know if you have any questions and stuff like that. You know where to find me, and I'll keep you updated, um, and stuff like that. So then we'll take it from there. But stay focused, stay focused, stay focused. You know, and keep the dream alive. Nothing is impossible. I'm a living testament, and stuff like that. So I'm excited to begin this second build. So starting like some of you and stuff like that, and I'll share, things that come up, why I'm making different decisions, and stuff like that, the reasoning behind that and stuff like that. But anyway, I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you very much. Make sure you click on the notification button, so when I come on live stream, you'll be able to get the notifications and stuff like that. Share the video. People needs this information out there. because people sometimes reach out to me and say, "Man, I wish I've had this like a couple of years ago. Would have saved me money." And so let's put it out there. And I appreciate all of you. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your day.